Welcome back to the series. So in the last two videos, we built out this structure according to design. And now what we need to do is go shrink it down to a point where we actually want this to collapse, right? So as you can see, even at a 502 pixel, we're looking pretty good, right? So if we go below that, it doesn't look nice anymore. So we can conclude that, let's say at 500, we would want this sidebar to collapse. So that being said, we have to approach this step by step. First, let's focus on this sidebar to going in or collapsing. Then we were gonna focus on this and this button, right? All right. So let's go back to our editor. Okay, so we are back here, and the idea now is to set up the logic so that this bar can collapse, right? Just like this in here, when we come to a certain distance, this should collapse, right? Now, initially, I made a mistake, which is, since this is the whole bar right here, the sidebar floating group, I set it to fixed width of 200 here, but this one, the nav box, I actually gave it a open width, which is not fixed, right? But in order for this guy to collapse, we have to reverse it, because this block, the nav box, we will be hiding, and when this is hidden, this one sidebar should be collapsing. But that is not possible if we have a fixed width here. So let's go and remove the fixed width, bring this guy minimum width to 0, and this one should have a max width of 200. Now it's coming back, right? And this guy, on the other hand, should have a fixed width of 200. Okay, so when this guy is hidden, we're going to enable collapse when hidden, and we're going to set it to left and right, and we will animate the operation by checking it. All right, so it is time for us to add conditional logic. So let's start here. This is our nav box. This is the one we're gonna have to collapse so that this bar collapses. So let's see how to add a condition here. Let's go there, and we're gonna look for width, current page width. If it is less than 500, then this element is visible. Now, if we are trying to make it visible, then we have to check this. If we uncheck this, then it will remain invisible. So let's try it out. Go to a preview. Okay, so now let's bring it in smaller than 500. Right there, it does disappear, but the sidebar also should collapse, but it's not. Let's go find out, and I know exactly what's happening here. Basically, when we come here, we missed one small thing: fit width to content, right? So we check that, because that way, whenever this block is hidden, this should just collapse. If we don't put fit width to content, it just stays there, just as you saw before. So now, once this is hidden, the content will disappear, and this block should just collapse, right? So let's preview and bring it down to 500, and it does collapse beautifully. Okay. And now what's happening here is that initially we used a 200 pixel of left margin. So here also we're gonna go ahead and add a condition. And as you can see right here, this is the left margin, 200. That's what keeping it from dropping, right, all the way. So let's start a conditional. Here we should say width, current page width, when it's smaller than 500, then let's say margin, our left margin, it is currently set to 200, but here we have to calculate this has a 30 pixel width and 10 pixel left and 10 pixel right margin. So let's set it to 50. That's being done. Let's preview. And let's go down again, shrink it, collapses perfectly. And just the size of our icon is now visible. But the problem here is the left arrow icon is dropping on top of our hamburger icon. So let's add a logic to make this disappear. All right, so now let's go back and let's highlight our left arrow, add a conditional, and let's look for width. If the current page width is less than 500, then this element is not visible. Let's do a preview. All right, so that goes away. All right, just for now, because we're going to change this logic a little bit later. I'm just doing this so that for now it looks all right. We have achieved our target look and feel, and next we're going to work on activating these buttons. Okay, so before we start activating buttons, we have to enable a state for the whole page, and you will find out why. So to do that, we select the page, members page, and we click on this eye icon and add a new custom state. Here I'm going to go uppercase. I'm going to call it mobile underscore display, and the type of this state will be yes or no. Create. Okay, then now that we have our state created, we will go ahead and select this button and go to its workflow, and here we will find set state of an element, and we're going to find our element, which is our current page, and page has a custom state, and we're going to turn that into yes. So anytime that hamburger bar, that hamburger icon is clicked, it will change the page state to yes for this custom state mobile display. Now we'll go back to design and make a little change on this icon's visibility, because we said that whenever this is below 500, just disappear it, right? But the situation is like this. We click it, it comes up, and then we click this guy, it closes, right? But it is still under 500. So to do that, we have to go back, and this time we're going to change this logic to make it visible when it is below 500, and look for our page, members page, and our state when it is set to yes, because this hamburger button, when it is clicked, is going to change the state to yes, which will open up this menu bar, and that's when we need this arrow to be visible. And in order for this to work, since we are setting the visibility, we just have to go back to layout and remove this visible when at page load, because if the page load makes it visible, we cannot make it visible again. So we have to set that and check. Anytime this happens, we just check this, collapse when hidden, even though we don't need it, but it's a good practice. And one more thing I have to show you before I move on from here is that whenever we are messing with items visibility on load, in case you end up refreshing your editor, you'll see that your items disappear from the editor. I had that issue. I mean, at the beginning I was very confused, but what happens is it actually goes into hidden mode. As you can see here, you can always click this eye icon to get it back. So that being said, now let's add the logic to this guy here, because we want, when we click on this hamburger button, this to open, right? So at the moment we have a condition already set that it should just disappear if the page width is less than 500, but we need to add another one for this button action where we should set the width. The current width is less than 500 and our page, which is member page, and that has the state mobile display, and this display is set to yes. So now we are connecting this display setting yes to its visibility. Okay, so now next is this element is visible. I'm going to make sure that it is visible, right? Now let's preview. Okay, click here, boom, our menu opens up, and when we make it larger, that disappears, and once we bring it in, but the thing is, now we have to work on this icon so that once we click it, it will close it. And remember, the reason this is opening is because now as soon as we click this button, it actually changes the state to yes. So all we have to do when we click on this one, change the state to no. Let's go back, highlight, go here, edit workflow, and now this is our workflow, the arrow button. Here we go set state of an element, and our element is our page, our state is display, and change that to no. Let's preview. Okay, so let's click here and close it, click and close, and we make it large, it goes away, and make it smaller, collapses, opens, closes. Now only thing we have to make disappear is this hamburger button when the current page width is more than 500, which should be simple. We just go back to the design, highlight this, go back to condition, add a new one, go to width, current page width is less than 500. In fact, this time we should make it greater than 500, and then the element visibility should be none. We're not going to check this box, so let's preview. Okay, we're back, and now look, the hamburger button is gone. We can make it as large and then bring it down. Boom, pushes it down, and click this button, opens it up, closes it. In fact, at this point, let's go with some of these mobile presets. Let's say iPhone SE, looking great. It is $375. Let's go with the Pro, $390, still looking great. And now let's go with the smallest one, the Galaxy 360. We're still looking good. And test this menu bar again. Open and close. Works perfectly. All right, now that our default template is set, all responsive, menu working and everything, there's something interesting we can do. I mean, this might be a little bit boring, but just stick with me. And I'm just going to show what I do with one page, and the rest I'll just fast forward to it, but the result will be pretty fantastic. Okay, so what we do at this point, our page name is members, right? So we are going to create another page, going to call it dashboard page, and we're going to clone our members page. All right, so now that we're here, this is our dashboard page. So we are going to change this to dashboard. I'm going to highlight this repeating group, delete it. You can add whatever content you like here, but interesting part here is now we're going to highlight this guy, change this color to E3, 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 highlight this icon, change color to E3, 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 and the base, the background should be black, right? And this guy now, we just reverse it. The black should be white, and this color, you can just put it back to black. Text, color, put it back to black. All right, so now we have a dashboard page. So at this point, all these links should go to their corresponding pages. So now what we do, before we move any further, we're going to go ahead and replicate this page, this dashboard page. So add new. Actually, we have members and dashboard. We need analytics. Dash page. And we're going to clone the dashboard. Let's change it to analytics. And just like that, we're going to clone another one, create new. This one we'll call plugins page, and we're going to clone the dashboard page. Let's call this plugins. Now that we have our page templates done, so all I'm gonna do now is go page by page and change this. For example, let's go to our original page, members page, right? So we have this one darken. So now we have to connect all these other links to their corresponding pages. So highlight this, start a workflow. We know it's going to the dashboard, navigation, go to page, dashboard, go back, analytics, workflow, navigation, go to page, and this is going to analytics page, again, plugins, workflow, navigation, going to the plugins page, right? Just like that. Once we have all of them set, now I'm going to go ahead and go to the corresponding pages, the dashboard, analytics, and plugins, and change this highlighted button accordingly and set up all these URLs to go to their correct pages, and I will come back and show you the result. All right, so I am back. By now I organized a little bit, by which I mean I gave them distinctive name like this: every item, every navigation item, analytics, members, plugins, so that when I go to start workflow, they're all nicely laid out. And I also color them just because they're navigation related, so they're all organized going to exactly where they're supposed to. And I had to actually do this to all these pages: analytics, members, dashboard, and plugins. And I highlighted them accordingly. So now let's see the result. Okay, so now let's go to dashboard. We're there. Analytics, also there. Members, back. Plugins. All you have to do now is just add content to it, and also each time we go to places, our mobile menu works perfectly. Opens it up, we go there, members, nice and responsive. Plugins, we are right there. So this concludes our third and last part of the Flexbox dashboard creation, which is mobile responsive and has a collapsible sidebar menu. If you like this video, please smash the like button, and please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please smash the like button and the subscribe button. This will help me bring more free contents like this to you every week. Thanks again.